glad and happy to have with me a master of Duduk. Our master here is Tigran Aleksanyan. Very happy to have you with us.
Thank you very much. I am also happy to meet you and to know you. A couple of
Thank you.
days we had an experience sharing the Armenian music and traditions. So
Yeah,
very
it
happy
will
to meet you too. Thank you very much for your invitation.
it will be a great time with you, master.
Thank you.
As usual, for the first time we meet our guests in Alnadi, we have to ask about the biography. So let's start with the biography.
Yes. I born in Armenia in small provincial town called Artashat,
Hmm.
which is south of Armenia. Actually, if you heard the Ararat region or Ararat Valley,
Mm.
this is the region where I come from. Our city, our small town, is 30 kilometers away from the capital city, Yerevan.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I born in that small provincial town. I grew up there. I went to school. I went to a music school. I start playing Duduks since 9 years old.
Mm.
So that means from 9 years, I start also going to the music school
Hmm.
and study there.
Hmm.
Because why I'm saying music school in Armenia, the high school
Mm.
it's different and music school is different.
Mm.
It's completely, I mean, different. They are not in the same building. There is music schools, which is it's proper music schools in separate from the high schools. So when we
Uh-huh.
finish study in high schools, I mean the lessons every day routine. So
Hmm.
then from afternoon till evening, uh, the children who studying music, they go to music school, and whatever instrument they study, they
Mm.
continuing study learning the music in the music school.
Uh-huh. All right. So in that case, you pick the duduk.
Yes, I picked the duduk,
Yeah.
which was my father's favorite instrument,
Mm.
and he pushed me a lot, to pick a duduk,
Mm-hmm.
and because he found that I have some kind of musical talent,
Mm.
and he said, "Okay, let's go and do it and pick the duduk and let's start and see what's going to happen."
And your father is not a musician. Maybe.
No, my father, he was a doctor surgery.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a dream above a dream for your
Yes,
London.
yes, 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 yes.
Wonderful. So for that school, how do you study music at that time? Is it like an official way of doing it like the Western way into
Yes,
subjects?
mainly yes, mainly yes. Uh, in the music school, they have like a department for Armenian folk instruments
Mm.
and department of classical instruments.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I was in the department with the folk instrument, but we also was learning Western, you
Yes.
know, about the Western music also.
Okay. So like a very quick overview. Let's say you finish your regular school at 3, 2 to 3. Then
Hmm.
you go and join the music school up to 7
Till
p.m.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
It depends every day how many subjects, how many lessons you have. Because,
Mm.
for example, during the week,
Mm.
every day I don't have my main instrument classes, which is duduk. Yeah,
Yeah.
like during the week, let's say I have three or four my main instrument classes. Then we was studying music literature, solfeggio, theory. We need to choose an additional instrument to also to discover and to play
Yeah.
as much as we can.
Hmm.
I choose a piano.
Hmm.
All these kind of studies.
Okay. What are the memories of studying the duduk at that time and folk music?
The memories is, first of all,
Mm.
I was 9 years old, young boy, and usually in Armenia, the solo, the duduk to play a solo concert or to play a solo,
Mm.
it's a duduk.
Mm.
Then when I came across to pick up the A duduk and to for study,
Mm.
then I discovered my fingers. It wasn't covering the holes on the duduk, because on A duduk the holes a little bit. It has interval between each other, which is like wide.
Yes. Mm.
It's a little bit far from each other.
Yeah.
So I was young boy, and my fingers couldn't manage to cover all these holes.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't manage. Then the master maker duduk,
Mm-hmm.
he recommended me to buy to order the C duduk, which is a little bit shorter. It's like
Uh-huh.
a piccolo duduk
Uh-huh.
or D duduk.
Okay.
Then my fingers covered that holes. Then I start from that piccolo duduk.
Mm.
Then when I grow up, I bought it couple of A duduks and B duduks.
Mm-hmm. And what
So
music you were playing at the time? Like folk music,
at
Western
the time,
music? Mm.
of course, we were starting to play folk music, Armenian folk music, traditional music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometime folk music and traditional music been arranged to play with the piano and duduk, which is
Uh-huh.
more western style, or small orchestra like a symphonic orchestra and duduk, and this
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of things.
Uh-huh. And these things were happening every week, end of year. How was it arranged, these things?
uh, Obviously, when we every end of year, because every end of year each uh, in the school they was choosing the best students,
Mm.
and every end of year in music school they was organizing the concert
Mm-hmm.
to show the parents the result of the study and
Mm-hmm.
effort
Yes.
of the students. End of the year they playing the concert. Obviously our music school, they have a concert hall also
Mm-hmm.
inside in the same building.
Yes.
And except that concert, every end of year we was doing the exams also.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
We were doing the exams, not only the duduk. We're doing exams also, solfeggio exams also, the second instrument we choose to discover, exam literature, music
Yeah.
literature.
Mm. Uh-huh. And performances for
Yeah,
sure.
and performances, yes.
Yes. All the
it's
year round.
it's yeah,
Mm.
it was they was giving too much information, and they pushing the students to
Mm.
learn all these things. When I was a child, I don't understand. I said, look, I want to play only the duduk. Why are you pushing me to learn this or that and that? My main target, the duduk. I was a child. I don't that time kind of very deeply
Mm-hmm.
understand why they
Yes.
downloading to us a lot of information.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say this modern way downloading.
Yeah.
And then when I grow up, I understand, because they was giving us general knowledge,
Mm.
to be knowledgeable.
Yeah. Interesting. Then what happened, Tigran, after school?
After school, um, for duduk, learning in music school, the 5 years,
Mm.
but for piano and for classical instruments, 7 years.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So for duduk, I finished my study after 5 years in music school.
That's a college,
Then,
right?
then I moved to the college, which is in the capital city in Yerevan.
Okay. Mm. All right.
Obviously, our high schools also 10 classes, which is like 10 years. Yeah, we need to study.
Yes.
When I finished the 5 year in the music school, that time I was year 8 in the high school.
Mm.
So that means I have to come out from the school also. I have to leave the school and continue my another 2 years in the college, which is the system was organized like this.
Uh-huh.
When you finish 5 years in the music school and you leaving the high school
Mm.
from year 8,
Yeah.
and you go and you start studying the college, music college. Same time in music college you study year 9 and 10.
Mm.
So they giving you also the Finnish diploma for high school.
Hmm.
Also, when you're finishing the music college, you're getting the music college diploma. So music college is 4 years.
Uh-huh. And what did you study there, Tigran?
I continue study Duduk
Mm.
more deeply and more professionally
Mm.
after the music school. And obviously in music college, it's more concentrated, the study, more technical, more, you know,
Hmm.
it's more deeper.
Uh-huh. But you go on the same subjects, right? The Duduk, the theory, literature,
Yeah. Also, yeah, of
poetry,
course, yeah.
everything.
And
Solfege.
plus,
Yeah.
plus in music college, there is orchestra
Mm-hmm.
for folk instruments.
Mm.
Also, this is must. Each student join to the orchestra because we was learning and having an experience to play in the orchestra,
Uh-huh.
not only the soloist.
Okay.
Because okay, if you learning and playing your main instrument, duduk or whatever, kanun or kamancha, yeah,
Mm.
okay, you're gonna become a soloist, yeah, you working on yourself and you practicing yourself, but also meantime you have to have an experience and knowledge
Mm.
how to work and play in the orchestra.
Uh-huh. For the
To be a good
synchronization.
soloist, it's okay, it's another thing, but also the proper musician in Armenia, I mean, they saying, okay, if you are a good soloist, you must be also a good orchestrant.
Mm-hmm.
Because in orchestra, it's to play and work in orchestra, it's different
Mm. Yeah,
compared with the solo playing. So you have to listen your the other instruments. You have to follow them. You have to be attention to the rhythm. Don't delay or don't play faster. And
Mm. Yeah, yeah. So you get synchronized and
yes.
interact properly with
And
the
the
instrument.
very important thing, because the traditional instruments, all kind of traditional instruments, it's some of them it's very delicate and very capricious,
Hmm.
which is difficult to keep all the time the perfect tuning, yeah.
Yes,
And this is also very important, all the time to listen to each other to be on on the perfect tuning.
exactly. And maybe we see that later when we discuss the Duduk.
Yes.
That's a very big challenge in the Duduk.
Yes.
Wonderful. What activities you were doing at the age of the college, master? What were you doing mostly, musically?
Mostly the activities, because I've been busy
Mm.
studying the the main instrument. There is like also 4 or 5 times a week.
Mm.
Then this orchestra,
Mm.
we have to or like 2 3 times a week we have to also go and do the orchestra lessons. Same theory and solfeggio, because everything, the activity, everything involved in the music only, because there is no enough time to do other activities.
Wonderful. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were for sure performing more than the school time, right? In the college.
Yes. Yes, more than the school time, then yes.
What kind of performances? Is it like student sessions or concerts or?
Yes, student sessions and concerts, and also because you are, I was in a capital city. There is a meeting with other musicians, with other,
Mm.
people. Then there's someone asking, "Oh, can you do this today for me? Because we're having this performance or this concert or that." So the it's it the circle of the people communication, it's big
Yeah, yeah.
in capital city, and there is a lot more happening.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
then you've been invited, I mean, I've been invited to play in different project and stuff.
Wonderful. That's very important.
The student, when you are a student, these kind of things during your years of study,
Mm.
it's good to do it because you're getting more experience,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And were there any concerts like end of year competitions, whatever you
Yes,
call it?
yes. The college also the end of year there was a concert. Also, the we was talking about the orchestral lessons. We also doing the exam with the orchestra,
Uh-huh.
and the specialist musicians they was coming and watching us how we working in orchestra, how we playing,
Mm,
and we're doing a solo exam, solo concert, orchestral exam, and also obviously solfeggio and theory and second instrument examination. So
mm. Interesting. You touched about outside the school and outside the college where you get invitations and exposure. People ask you to do some project or maybe
yes,
perform some. Yeah. Mm,
if they was organizing some concert and different kind of celebrations. I mean, celebration to not the party, not the celebration, which is like evening organized to some kind of famous writer or composer. Uh, this kind of evenings celebration they organizing, inviting me, and
mm.
I was going and being a part of it.
Interesting.
Some recordings,
Yeah. What about
TV.
family gathering, TV shows, weddings? These things
Yes, of
were.
course, with family, of course, we also, yeah. And yeah, for example, if in our family there is kind of celebration or birthday parties or something, everybody knows I'm playing.
Yeah.
Can you play? Can you play? Okay. Yeah, I was playing, and
This
they
is a culture, I
join.
guess.
Yes, it's culture. Yeah, it's
It's a
culture. Yeah,
culture there where people sit and do party, and the
yeah,
duduk is the master in there.
yeah. And the
Like
duduk
and
is one of the the common and one of the favorite instrument in Armenia.
Mm.
And yeah,
So I think this duduk thing has stuck with you from the beginning,
yes,
where people are seeing you and the duduk like the names together
yes,
from the
yes, yes.
childhood, right?
From the childhood, yeah, from the childhood.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, then in our city when I was, let's go back a little bit to the music school time.
Yes.
While I was studying in the music school, and also in our small city, there is a theater, and in the theater they was organizing different type of evenings and celebrations, commemorating evening to some kind of famous person in Armenia. Yeah, and mainly always they inviting me to play there also
Mm.
to
Yeah.
perform like one or two songs solo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was a young child, and first time we have a local newspaper in our town,
Yes.
and they took some photo while I was performing, and the next day they put my photo on the newspaper and they wrote about that evening.
Mm.
So after that, the next day or after 2 days, when I went to school, all my schoolmates they saw that, and
Yeah.
you know,
This is more exposure and more invitations then.
yeah, pretty much I become like in my small town, like kind of
Mm.
famous too, as a player, as a music duduk player.
Yeah, and this will put more pressure on you for
Yeah,
more practice, more
yeah, yeah,
more into music. Uh, these are some of the very important experiences you mentioned. This gathering and community and culture. Let's talk about the competitions. Are there competitions? Are there any sort of such? Yeah.
yeah. Competition, I'll tell you. Yeah, this when I was in music school,
Hmm.
obviously every year there was a competition of the young musicians
Mm.
from for whole Armenia.
Hmm.
They was doing first of all each music school they doing locally in their music school,
Hmm.
and the judges coming from capital city, and they choosing like they have like a 2 3 sessions. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean 2 3 part.
Rounds. Yeah.
Yeah, rounds, yes. First
Yeah.
round, second round, third round. So after third round, if you pass till third round, then you're going to the capital city, Yerevan, and the final. You do final.
Hmm.
So a couple of times, yeah, I get to the final and I've done it. And
Interesting.
uh, yeah,
Hmm.
that was like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. What
I've done
were
these
the
competitions.
what
Mhm.
were the habits, the practice habits and dedication habits that you had at the time to win such competitions? You know, uh, these things are maybe very special to Duduk or maybe Armenian music, right?
Yeah, very special. Yeah, of course. We choosing the program, and I used to work an hours to play you know, to
Hmm.
do as much as good and better I can.
Hmm.
It was also pressure on me when to and responsibility.
Hmm.
I was practicing hours and hours to be ready for these competitions.
Hmm. Is there any guidance for maybe from a master or another Duduker who will
Of
say,
course,
do this, do that, these are the
of course, yeah, of
exercises?
course. My teacher in music school, he was guiding me.
Uh-huh.
He was guiding me, yeah, because mainly the folk music
Mm.
with accompany with the piano.
Mm.
It's been this kind of the format.
Yes. Mm.
And yeah, of course was guiding me. And because of because of the competition, for
Mm-hmm.
example, let's say if I had 3 lessons during the week
Mm-hmm.
for Duduk, we're doing extra lessons like 4 or 5,
Uh-huh.
literally every day practicing.
Mm.
I mean, 5 days a week.
Are there any special exercises for the Duduk for such competitions or for just improving? Or no need, just play the repertoire and that's it?
No, the special exercises we learn separate.
Mm-hmm.
Then when comes to this kind of competition and we're choosing the music, these exercises when we learn and practice separately,
Mm.
it's all using in this kind of melody which we choose to play.
Uh-huh.
So we only working mainly the how to play that music, how to the how to what kind of feelings and emotions to put in,
Okay, so you
and
try to employ
which
it.
part to play, let's say fortissimo or pianissimo or more feeling, or this ornament must be like this, that ornament like this. So all we this um, guidance giving us the our teacher.
Yes. I know some people hate competitions because it make people sometimes feel bad or it
Yeah,
might
it's
give them.
stressful.
Yeah.
It's stressful, but to me, I must pass this how they saying footpath.
Yes.
I must pass through to these kind of things.
Mm.
Otherwise, you will not have a feeling and experience of that, how it goes and how it works.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to become a proper musician
Mm.
and a good quality
Mm.
player, you must do these kind of things.
Okay.
Otherwise, you just study and for
Mm.
what for?
Exactly.
It,
Yeah.
must, it should be a target. This is also one of the targets. Yeah, you studying and you playing, experiencing yourself.
Mm.
One day competition, you have to show yourself.
Yes. Mm. Interesting. What is the result of such competitions? What did it bring up to you?
Result. Uh, Look, there is like also the place is one or first place or second or third place,
Mm.
and yeah. So I was getting it. I've been in first place and second place,
Mm.
and I've been all the time I was getting to final.
Mm. And this has brought more exposure and maybe
Yes,
brought up your name and more
yeah,
performances, more requests. And I think one of the results is the Armenian folk and dance ensemble invitation, right?
yes. Armenian state dance ensemble,
Uh-huh.
Armenian state dance ensemble, which is the famous dance ensemble, one of the famous dance ensemble in Armenia and also in the world. In
Mm.
the whole Armenian people around the world
Mm-hmm.
know that ensemble, and Yeah, I was in the third year of college study
Hmm.
when I've been invited to
Hmm.
to go there and to start working with them. But before to start working with them, there was a competition.
Uh-huh.
They only need one duduk player, and for one place there was six musicians, six duduk players,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the competition was like 1 week,
Hmm.
and they inviting you. He was going there, and they putting the notation, and you sitting with the orchestra, their orchestra,
Yeah.
and playing with them.
Hmm.
And they uh, how they saying, the
Hmm.
concertmaster,
Yes.
who is in charge of the orchestra or the musicians. He was watching you, and he was watching you from the different angles. How you playing, how you doing. You're struggling, not struggling.
Hmm.
So anyway, I passed that competition compared with other Duduk players, and they choose me.
Hmm.
And yeah, I start working in that dance, and I was very very happy because that was my dream. And even I didn't imagine one day I will become a member of the Armenian State Dance Ensemble.
Hmm.
And when I told my father wasn't believing me. He couldn't believe me.
Yeah.
He said, "Are you joking?" Because this is, in Armenia, everybody, let's say, literally everybody's favorite dance ensemble.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
Even that time when wherever you go, or if police stop you and they know you are from the dance ensemble, no problem, just drive. Or
Yeah.
if you go somewhere, they know you are from the dance ensemble. It's very 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 high respect.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Interesting. And what experiences have you seen in there that's different from the previous experiences?
In To be a musician in Armenian State Dance Ensemble, it's not an easy thing because when you work with the dancers,
Mm.
and you have to be a heavy duty musician,
Mm. Yes.
because you have to, the sound of your playing, the dancers has to, that they have to listen on the stage,
Yeah.
because sometimes we have a philharmonic concert hall,
Mm-hmm.
and the acoustic in that hall, it's very good. And when we was performing there, we don't use any microphone,
Mm-hmm.
all natural sound.
And live, no
And
replay,
live, no, and live, no
no playback.
background music, no nothing, no. And so you have to play properly to make a sound
Mm.
to be listenable by dancers. And because we're working and playing for dancers and working with dancers, there is traditional songs which is very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And always it's a you are always under the pressure
Mm-hmm.
to play everything properly, to play, to be on perfect tuning. We always have to watch the dancers movement,
Mm-hmm.
because when you work with dancers you have to always follow their movement,
Yes.
because music adjusted to the choreography, to their movement.
Exactly. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be a mess if you can't.
So
Yeah.
more competencies and skills and
Yes.
level and exposure.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, for example, to play in the orchestra, which is working with the dancers, is different to play in traditional orchestra, which solo singers coming and singing is different.
Mm. Yeah. Even the rehearsal maybe and the practice.
Yeah, rehearsal also.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
Mm.
pressure and dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. This is from which year to which year? The involvement in
That
these
was in
games.
19.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention
It's okay.
uh,
It's okay.
the
Yeah.
figures. So that was um, okay. I start college in 1989,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and 1992
Mm-hmm.
I've been invited to the state dance ensemble.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the music school I started in 1983.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And maybe it's a good chance to see a video of that time. Yeah.
Of the okay, the video I've sent it to you from the state dance ensemble. Yeah, please
Yeah.
you can put that video. And I think the video I sent it to you, the dance called it the shepherd's dance,
Uh-huh. Mm.
traditional shepherd's dance.
Mm. Yeah.
So yeah, we can you can show that video to
Sure.
our listeners.
Sure. It will be an old video, but it's really reflecting, that time. Really, thank you
Yeah,
very
that
much for
was
sharing
I
it.
think 1995 video, which that time I was in the part of the ensemble.
Mm.
I don't know because the camera recorder recording from the
Mm.
music hall,
Yes.
and I don't know if people can see me sitting in the orchestra because orchestra is sitting a little bit far away, background.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We will enjoy together.
yeah, please welcome. Yes.
Yeah. going forward and working with the Armenian State Dance Ensemble, you stayed there for a while. I know there were a lot of performances and maybe other activities.
Traveling around the world and performing in
Yeah.
different countries.
Hmm. Interesting. And maybe everything has expanded big time.
Yes, yes,
Experience wise, playing, style, all of these things maybe we touch later in our discussion.
yes. Hmm.
And then came the move to London. Maybe we just talk a little bit about this. Yeah.
Yes. In 2001, I moved to London.
Hmm.
Before to move to London, so in 1999, with another orchestra, another dance group, which was like children dance group.
Hmm.
I've been invited to play for them because they had this invitation to go Europe for the tour,
Hmm.
and they invite me short time to work and play with them because of this European tour.
Hmm.
We've been to France with that children dance ensemble,
Hmm.
and France and England.
Mm.
That was in 1999, and when I done that tour and when I've been to London,
Hmm.
that time I met a couple of Armenians in London, and we become a friends and we keep our communication.
Mm.
After that, then in 2001, we having a tour
Hmm.
with the Armenian State Dance Ensemble,
Mm.
France, Switzerland, and England.
Mm.
When we came to England, also I met with my let's say oldest friend when I met them in 1999. Then this meeting was a different atmosphere
Yeah.
compared with the previous one,
Mm.
and they offer me, if they're gonna invite me to come to London, England, to start working with them because they had in Armenian community they had also dance ensemble,
Mm.
but they don't have a musician.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
they offer me if they will invite me and they prepare my visa and work permit and everything.
Hmm.
I said yes, I will do it, but I don't want to stay now
Hmm.
because I have a choice. Either I can stay now
Mm.
and leave the dance ensemble, which is not good.
Yeah.
It's not good for my reputation in regards, to the dance ensemble.
Yes.
I said no. I will go back to Armenia because that time we had a multi visa,
Mm.
multiple entry for UK for 6 months,
Yeah.
and it
Hmm.
gives me enough time to go to back to Armenia then to come back again myself. So
Yeah.
yeah, I went back. Then I decided to come and I said okay, I'm done with the state dance ensemble.
Hmm.
Uh,
Let's move.
yeah, let's move on because also
Mm.
except the Armenian dance ensemble in London, which they invited me to come and work with them. I
Mm.
was thinking I will have a opportunity in London to show, to communicate, to meet people from different culture, from different countries,
Uh-huh.
and to discover music and musical instruments
Mm.
from different countries, different cultures.
Hmm.
So, and this is exactly what happened.
Exactly. Wonderful. So
Yeah.
whatever you thought and imagined has really turned true.
Yeah, and because for me,
Mm.
it's in London. I've discovered and opened for me
Mm.
lots of new things.
Hmm. Mm.
Because
Nice.
that time in Armenia, let's say Soviet time, there was very limited, not even limited. There is no connection with outside world,
Mm.
and musicians they even don't know much about the other countries' music and instruments.
Hmm. Yeah.
When you know beginning of 19th Soviet collapse and the borders are open. That time slowly start, everything comes up,
Yeah.
and the people have internet connections, traveling more easier
Mm.
than previously.
Mm.
So yeah,
So this maybe gave much more exposure of different other musics
yes, of
at the
course.
time. And what are you doing, or what did you start doing in London with the ensemble and other activities, just to get
Yeah, I
flavor?
start I start do I start working with the dance ensemble in London, and we they also organizing performance once or twice a year for Armenian community.
Mm.
Then uh, one of the performance, because in London there is not only Armenian people was coming to the performance, there is some other nationalities and some other people also was coming, and uh, I think someone saw me there and they were surprised there is Duduk player in London,
Mm.
and they came to me and we exchanged with the contacts.
Mm.
Then slowly, everybody recommend each other, in the music circle in London. So
Yeah.
slowly, I became like knowledgeable,
Mm.
and people start knowing me in the music circle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then slowly, I start getting invitations for different projects, different studio recordings, different small or big performance concerts. Uh,
Right.
yeah, this is how picked up the the music life and start
Wonderful.
running.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We will cover other things maybe later, but let's maybe take another break here and
Yes,
share
please.
some flavor of the London time with a video.
Flavor of London time. We can watch the video again. I sent it to you with Andre Croncho.
Hmm.
We've done in small studio.
Hmm.
So
What is that work? Maybe a little bit about that piece.
that work, Andre Croncho. I met him. There was also a competition in London, Live Music Now.
Uh huh.
There was a competition they call Live Music Now.
Uh huh.
This competition all about they was choosing traditional musicians
Mm.
to perform in the schools of for children who has a difficulty.
Mm.
There is a special schools with children who has difficulty learning.
Mm. Yeah.
And time to time, also I think this is the government project.
Mm.
How I remember,
Mm.
they was inviting the musicians and performing for the children, showing them instrument, and talking with them.
Mm.
But before to do that, they was doing a competition,
Uh huh.
and one of the judges in that competition was Andre Cronshaw.
Hmm.
When he saw me, I played, and then he came back to me. Then we exchanged the details. Then, except that what's doing with the live music now, except that project,
Mm.
he offered me to play together because he's a music journalist and he's also the multi instrumentalist. He plays a couple of different instruments, strings and woodwind instruments.
Mm.
And yes, since 2005, that was in 2005 when we met, we start performing together as a duo.
Mm.
Then we become a trio.
Uh huh.
Because in that video, when I send it to you, there is a bass clarinet player and the soprano sax. The Ian Blake. He
Uh
plays
huh.
bass clarinet and soprano sax. So that video, we're playing together with Andre Cronshaw, Ian Blake, and myself.
Mm.
We're collaborating, each of us, our music. There is mainly like improvisations,
Interesting.
which we're putting together.
We will listen to it together then.
And in that video, the Andre Cronshaw plays the instrument that he invented.
Mm.
It calls maramantalin.
Hmm.
Will
We'll enjoy.
double side strings.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. We'll enjoy together then.
Please welcome and listen to it and enjoy.
Wonderful. Tigran, let's stop and talk about meeting the masters or usta, or the alternative way of learning your music, the Armenian music, the Duduk music, other than the school style. Let's talk about this.
Yes, in schools, in college, or in conservatory, I'm talking particularly about the duduk.
Mm,
Yes, you studying and they giving you information how to play, how to study, but some hidden information
mm,
about the duduk
mhm,
you can learn only from the old masters.
mhm,
No any kind of conservatory or college or music school, they can't give it to you this information
mhm,
because old masters, uh, the time, for example, the masters I met, yeah, Vladimir Harutyunyan,
mhm,
Ivan Gasparyan, and there was Vachev Sepan, but I didn't see him because I was so young and he passed away in 1970s.
mhm,
And what I understand when I, for example, meet and work and study,
mm.
of course I study, I learn from them.
Yeah.
With Jivan Gasparyan and Vladimir Harutyunyan, uh, when they start playing a duduk, they was obviously, they started from young age,
Mm,
which was like in 1930s
mm,
or end of 1930s or beginning of 1940s. There is no kind of school or college for duduk, or any um, academical study for
yeah.
duduk.
Mm,
They just have the natural talent, and they pick up this instrument and they start learning themselves and playing themselves.
mhm,
There is no much masters that time to teach them also.
mm,
So everything they discover themselves and they start playing themselves.
mhm. Yeah.
And when they playing some kind of traditional folk melodies and you listening and you really like it and enjoy it,
Mhm,
and you asking master, can you please teach me how you doing this, ornament or this beat, how you doing? They wouldn't able to exactly give you an answer or exactly explain to you how they're doing because they was playing naturally and they was feeling like that, and it's naturally, they doing. Nobody teach them to do how to do that. So
uh-huh.
why they didn't can't explain.
Yes.
So in this case, and he was telling, okay, uh, I will play and you listen and learn.
Mhm. Okay.
you know
So you arrange and you try to make an event to see them, right?
Yeah,
or do you where do
and
you see them?
sometime they don't have a good mood or something. And if you ask them, when you asking them, you annoying them,
Yes.
then the only way, we are young boys and musicians, thinking, to invite our master. Okay, master, let's go to small taverna or a cafe or restaurant. I'm inviting you, and we'll have a nice food and nice mood. We'll have, 2 3 shots, nice
Yeah.
rakia, or I don't know, wine or something. Then his
Yeah.
mood is changing. Then we're asking him to play, and in purpose, we're asking him to play something,
Mm.
and we're sitting very, very uh, with the attention, with
Yes.
the high attention, to steal,
Yeah.
in good meaning, to steal some, good
Mm.
style of playing and technique of playing and things, from the master.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what things did you see? Like, for example, style. You said style. What else did you learn from these guys or these
From these
masters?
guys, literally everything: how to do vibration, how to do the ornaments. Also, they also was teaching us how to do a maintenance
Uh huh.
of instrument, because duduk, it's very delicate instrument, and duduk,
Mm.
it has 2 separate pieces. Yeah, the instrument, which is made from wood,
Mm.
and there is a mouthpiece,
Yeah.
reed,
Mm.
double side reed.
Yeah.
And this reed, it's very delicate and it's very capricious,
Mm.
so you have to know how to handle, how to make it to be more comfortable for you to play easy, and uh, to make a correct sound of the duduk.
Ah, so these guys
All
gave
these
you.
kind of things, yeah, of course, the masters, they telling us how to do it.
How about expressions, emotions? These things are also discussed with them because
Yeah, of
I don't
course.
know.
These masters, they are very interesting people. They giving us example. If
Mm.
duduk player, if you are a master duduk player and you don't know how to maintain your instrument, and they was telling us, this is look like a man can't shave himself.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. That's like a word, huh? Armenian expression, huh? Yeah. So in this case, they teach you everything: how to express the particular melody, how to carry over a specific emotion, or beyond
Yes,
maybe
yes,
forte and
yes,
piano and these things, way beyond
yes.
this. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And also in Armenia, it's still now, it's a tradition. When there is a funeral, they always inviting the duduk musicians, yeah, duduk
Mm.
players, two,
Mm.
three duduk players. They playing, sad music.
Mm.
And these masters all the time also been invited. And when he was coming to me saying, "Okay, this day, can you come with me?" I said, "Of course, I want to come with you," because when he was playing there,
Yeah.
I was playing a drone, like accompanying him.
Mm.
But meantime, I'm watching what he does.
Mm. Mm.
And this is each time this he was asking me if I am free to go to him to play. Of course, if I'm not free, I will change my plans and I make myself free to come. But this is opportunity to you know listen to him, proper playing, and to watch the things how he does
Interesting.
and to learn from him.
Very, very interesting. Yeah. Uh, Tigran, can we give an overview of what Armenian music types are there and what types are used or maybe played by the Duduk mostly? Then we go into
Uh,
the Duduk later. Yeah.
yes, literally all traditional music and the folk music, it's playing on duduk,
Mm.
Armenian duduk, and Armenian duduk compare with the Middle Eastern.
Mm.
I mean, not duduk, Armenian music.
Yes.
Comparing with Middle Eastern music,
Mm.
uh, we don't use quarter tones.
Uh-huh.
We don't have the culture to use the quarter tones.
Mm.
We're using, there is some half tones and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's not a quarter tones.
Mm.
So it's little bit. This is the difference
Uh-huh.
between Armenian music and Middle Eastern and other like Asian music.
Yeah. I think maybe you tell me more about uh, the age of Komitas or maybe other musicians where they converted the Mugam kind of music into a sort of classical,
Yeah,
but they carry
classical
the
Armenian.
names. They continue to carry the names of Rast, Siga, whatever. But we still have both, right, in Armenia
Yes,
till today.
yes. Komitas Vartapet. He is the first person,
Mm,
composer, musician
mm,
who convert the uh, Armenian music to the more Armenian classical.
mm.
But all traditional and folk music is based on the
Yes.
Mogam scales.
Uh-huh. Interesting. And the Duduk can do anything, yeah? Whatever
Yeah,
instrument.
Duduk can do, yeah, Duduk plays
So for
all
the
this.
of
Yes,
the
yes,
range, we talk about everything is possible.
yeah, of course, yes, yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, also we have also ashuks.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
think ashuk also in Middle East they have ashuk,
It's very popular, yeah.
very popular. The ashuks, they are people who they are people and musicians and composers who are writing the own music, own lyrics to the music, and they traveling and playing own instrument. Usually, ashuks they was playing kind of string instrument because they need to play and sing their own music
Yeah.
to
So
present to the people.
if we look with the bird's eye on the Armenian music, we see there is folk music, classical music, maybe things for weddings, for funerals, cafes. What else? All of these are different
We
types of
also can
music.
include the ashuk
Ashuk,
music
yes, Ashuk music.
because ashuk music it has this separate space
Yes,
place
yes. Mm,
separate place like ashuk music.
mm.
Uh, what else? I think pretty much we mentioned everything.
Yes. Okay, now,
Also,
yeah,
these
tell me.
days also duduk and some other also traditional instruments being used to play with the uh, symphony orchestras,
Hmm. Yes.
and this is starts late 90s,
Mm.
end of 90s.
Uh-huh. And it started going into the pop and into the maybe the industry where they show in movies, they show on
Yes,
TV and everywhere. Yeah.
yeah, everywhere.
Interesting. While we are talking about the Armenian music, maybe it's a good chance that we talk about the Armenian music masters from your
Yes,
perspective. Taking
uh,
Duduk players, composers, ashuks, whatever. Just let's mention some good names.
yes.
Yeah.
Uh, First of all, I just want to start from Jivan Gasparian
Mm,
because of him,
mm,
the world discover and find out the Duduk.
mhm,
He is the master and he is the first person who presented Duduk to the world.
mm.
And for young Duduk players now, it's more easier because when you're saying Duduk, everybody, literally everybody knows
Mhm.
who are in the music industry.
Yeah.
Even some people who are not in music industry and they also some other people they know
Mhm. Interesting.
who
Mm.
watch the some movies, some other things. And Jivan Gasparian played in the Gladiator soundtrack
Mm.
and some other Hollywood films soundtrack. He
Mm.
performed with famous musicians like Brian May,
Mm.
um, Peter Gabriel,
Mm. Mm.
a rock guitarist from Canada, Michael Brook,
Mm.
and lots others and others.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he is the master musician who present in UNESCO. I
Mm,
think every year UNESCO organizing some expo or concert.
mm,
He performed there, and after that, UNESCO recognized officially that Duduk is the Armenian
mm,
instrument,
mm,
and Duduk, it's a very old instrument which up to date nobody scientists they couldn't exactly find out how many thousand years it exists.
yeah.
It's roughly they saying about three and a half thousand,
Mm-hmm.
roughly.
Mm,
So this is Jivan Gasparian, but before Jivan Gasparian we had great masters Markar Markarian.
mm-hmm.
After Markar Markarian we had Levon Madoyan,
Mm,
then Vachehov Sepian,
mm,
and Jivan Gasparian, Vladimir Harutsunyan.
mm,
Then young generation compared with Jivan and Vladimir, Yerishe Manukyan,
mm,
Gevorg Dabagyan,
mm.
Ara Bakhtikyan. There is a lot. Then coming the more younger, like me and the others. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have met them, huh? These
I
masters.
met personally very often with Jivan Gasparian and Vladimir Harutsunyan, Ara Bakhtikyan, Yerishe Manukyan.
Mm,
Yeah, but when the Markar Markaryan and Levon Madoyan, this is I'm talking about 1920s, 1930s, 40s,
yeah, yeah.
something like that. Then after that comes coming Vachehov Sepian, which is 1960s, 1970s.
Mm, interesting. Now, this is one type of Armenian masters, which are the Duduk players.
Mm-hmm.
Let's mention some composers, Ashuks, Theodor.
Ashuks,
Yeah.
yeah, we start from Ashuks. We have Ashuk Sayatnova,
Mm,
Ashuk Jivani,
yeah.
Ashuk Havasi,
Mm,
Ashuk Sheram,
mm,
and there is also now a new Ashuks, which I don't exactly know the names,
mm,
but these are the main
mm, yeah.
Ashuks, and their their music it's live up to date,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
and obviously we have composers. Aram Khachaturian, which is a classical composer, but he used in his classical creation of music a lots of traditional music.
Mm,
Aram Khachaturian, one of the Armenian worldwide famous composers who used a lot traditional and folk music
mm,
as a base
mm.
on what he wrote, Western style classical for the symphony orchestras.
Uh-huh. Interesting. So this is one example composer.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah.
Arno Babajanyan, he mainly wrote like in modern style.
Mm. Anybody is doing like some kind of
We
folk.
have Khachatur Avetisian, which is uh, very, very talented composer and musician.
Mm,
He wrote a lot of uh, folk stuff,
mm.
a lot.
So this is a continuation of the
Yeah.
tradition then.
Khachatur Avetisian, a very, very long time, he was the in charge of the orchestra of Armenian State Dance Ensemble,
Mm,
and majority of melodies
mm,
written by him for the dancers to dance,
mm,
the traditional
mm-hmm,
uh, melodies.
mm-hmm. Interesting. Uh, Other theorists or composers, we mentioned the Komitas already.
Komitas, yes,
Yeah.
Komitas, which is yes, he he done the mainly the church music.
Mm,
He wrote the whole
mm,
piece of church music for the church service.
mm-hmm, mm,
And there is also Yekmalyan, Makar Yekmalyan.
mm-hmm,
There is also composers which is in like 13 centuries
mm,
composers, Grigor Narekatsi.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Monkats Mirza.
Mm. Mm.
Their music is kind of medieval music.
Mm. Uh-huh.
Komitas, he've done, uh, let's say, I don't know if it's right to say he've done a revolution
Mm.
converting this folk to the Armenian classical music.
Mhm. Mm.
And yeah,
What about theorists, Tigran? Who do we mention for those doing a theory, a book, or maybe some theoretical influence on the Armenian?
theoretical influence because all Komitas work been done it with different people who,
Mm.
it's been done at Soviet time.
Mhm.
They research and they collect whatever was available because I think lots of Komitas music maybe also just disappear because of
Mhm.
they.
Yes.
I don't want to
Yes.
talk about the politics
Mm.
and whatever left, whatever possible to find out and to create a book. It's been done.
Mm. Is there any
And
important book that was created covering the Armenian music in general?
yeah, there is, but I don't remember the authors who done it. But there is a lot. There is even like three, four, five books
Mm.
for Komitas, for example, music number one, number two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's yeah, these books and all Ashok works also been done.
Mm.
Uh,
Okay.
and I forgot to mention. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention Georgi Minasyan,
Mhm.
great Duduk master,
Mm.
who done a study book for Duduk.
Uh-huh. Mm.
Uh, Before him, nobody done it.
Okay.
Georg Dabaren also he done it. Uh, Duduk study book.
Mhm.
And we have a singer, Thomas Pogosyan.
Mm.
He create the ensemble mainly to perform the Ashur songs.
Mhm.
And it calls Ashur Ensemble in Armenia, and everybody knows. And he's one of the famous singers in Ashur style. He done it book also. I think four or five books
Uh-huh.
for Ashur Sayatnova
Uh-huh.
music.
Mhm. Interesting. What about the dance music, Tigran?
Dance music, mainly traditional.
Mm.
It comes from and it passed to like generation to generation.
Mhm.
And as I mentioned, Khachatur Avetisyan, he wrote a lot dance music. Also, uh, there is also another famous ensemble in Armenia, song and dance ensemble, which was been settled by Tatul Altunyan.
Mhm.
And Tatul Altunyan himself also he done a lot of arrangement on based of the traditional and folk music. He took the traditional and folk music and he done arrangement
Mm.
to convert to dance.
Mhm. Interesting. Do you like to mention some duduk makers now, or maybe we keep it in the discussion of
Yes,
Armenian?
I can mention duduk makers.
Mm.
The first duduk maker I met, it was Karlen Matevosyan.
Mm.
He was a great man.
Mm.
He passed away a couple of years ago,
Mm.
and he is a great man.
Mm.
And yeah, I bought my first Duduks from him,
Mm.
and he is the man who was also making a Duduk for all these greatest masters, famous masters, Vachev Sepian, Jivan Gasparian,
Mm.
and Vladimir Harutyunyan, and for all others also.
Mm.
And once I was invited him to buy a duduk, and also he was making a duduk reed to buy a reed.
Yeah.
And he showed me a duduk that he made for Vache of Sepian,
Mm-hmm.
and he covered all this duduk with sadaf.
Uh-huh. Shell.
You know the sadaf from the shell from the seas,
Yeah.
from sea. Yeah?
Mm.
And then he told me that this duduk, when he made and give it as a present
Mm.
to the great master Vache of Sepian, after when Vache of Sepian passed away, I think his wife or one of the relatives, his duduk bring it back to the master who make it to the
Mm-hmm.
to Karl and Matevosyan,
Yeah.
and told him like, look, master, I think this duduk. It's better to give it back to you
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna keep this, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
as a memory.
Yes.
So yeah, I've seen that duduk,
Mm.
and now there is a young people,
Mm.
Karen Mukailan,
Mm.
Sevada Iritsian.
Mm.
They are actually my friends,
Mm.
and they making great instruments,
Wow.
fantastic duduks they making.
Mm.
I'm glad, that we have in young generation, we continue to make duduks,
Interesting. Now we are more
because if there is
excited.
no one,
Yeah.
so we'll be in trouble.
Now it's more exciting to go into the Duduk. But before we go to that, I would really take the opportunity to listen together to one of your solo performances. So we'll
Yes.
listen to it and then we continue. You
Okay.
can tell me about that solo. Yeah.
Okay. The solo which I sent it to you in a Creta in Județ Labyrinth concert,
Hmm.
when I play with my friend
Yeah.
Arkady Pogosyan. He's a tar player,
Uh-huh.
and Amit Menachem. He's from Israel. He
Uh-huh.
plays darbuka, the drum.
Uh-huh. Okay. So we'll listen to it. So, Master, now the time for the Duke.
Yes, please.
Let's go and discuss the Duduk in general first, maybe by picking a Duduk and then maybe showing a demo, and then we go into the details.
Okay. Do you want me to show? Yeah, like
Yes,
this.
please,
So
please.
this, duduk. This is duduk. This one made from apricot wood,
Mm,
and it looks very simple, and it has only one octave.
mm-hmm.
This is like limited.
Mm,
But on each duduk we can play from like 3, 4 different scales.
mm, mhm,
Also, because it's one octave and little bit, limited instrument,
mm,
we have A duduk. This is A duduk.
mhm,
Then B duduk, D duduk, G duduk, F.
mm,
So we can adjust to
mm,
play with any other instrument or a singer or in orchestra.
mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
So
let's know the parts of the duduk.
yeah, and this is the reed. This is the bamboo reed, which is second part of the duduk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Yeah.
And it's a double reed.
Mm-hmm.
Double reed. You can
Yeah.
see here,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes here.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is the regulator, which we regulating the amount of air it takes in, also the tuning,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously this is the cover. When not playing, it needs to be covered. Otherwise, it's gets dry and uh, it change the behavior and it change the sound.
Yeah, I see the players immediately close it when they take a break, and
Yeah,
then yeah, it's
yeah,
like very
Be-
sensitive, huh?
yeah. Because when you play, it has already it's warmed up
Mm.
and it has moisture inside. When you leave it open, it gets dry again. You need to play a couple of minutes to be to come back to normal.
And what material is this cab and this
This is
reed is?
bamboo. We call kamish.
Okay, yes, yes. And for the regulator and the cab? Mm.
Regulator. It's no, this cover. It's from the three, but the regulator it's from the grape. Uh, grape. The grape. It has this. Grape.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a grape.
Yeah, grape wood.
Grapefruit. Let's say this
Yeah.
way,
Okay. All
because
right.
that little bit elastic and soft that you can look. This is one long piece
Yeah.
which is being turned
Yes.
and put it together. This piece here. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Interesting. Let's have a short demo, master.
Thank you very
such
much.
beautiful, beautiful and unique sound, and I mean your expression and the way you do it actually is so magical.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So yeah, and we continue about the Dudukan.
Yes. Let's go for the types if you can show us the types, and then we talk about more.
Yes. Now I'll show you the B Duduk.
Mm.
B Duduk is little bit sound little bit different, little bit more
Mm.
louder than A Duduk.
Uh-huh. Okay. And it's is it shorter or the same size exactly?
It's let me just. It's a shorter.
Mm. Yes. And for the intervals between the holes, for sure they are relative to each one, right?
It's relative. Let me hold like this. Try to
Yeah.
a little bit difference. A little bit. Can you see?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
It's little
Maybe
bit different. Different.
we will come back to this point soon. And this is B or B flat, Duduk.
Uh, B.
This is B, Duduk. Yeah. And what other types of Duduk you use usually?
Other types I have D Duduk,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yes.
is even shorter than A.
Mm-hmm.
Much shorter.
Mm-hmm. It will be brighter in sound maybe
Yeah.
as we go up.
This D Duduk mainly we use in the orchestra with the dance group.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes with singers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, the sound of this one is more brighter. Yes.
Mm.
So
Very nice. This is now we have seen A, B, C,
we have seen A, B, and D.
D. Sorry, D.
D.
Three types now.
Three types. Also, I have a G Duduk, which is more longer, more uh, more
Bass.
deep sound.
Mm, it's like a
It's
bass.
like alto, like a alto.
Alto. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to order myself F Duduk.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pretty much.
And the piccolo duduk
Piccolo is this one,
is
D.
this one.
Yeah, we call
Okay.
piccolo because it's smaller and shorter, and
Okay. And the
yeah,
sound
this
looks
is which
like
the holes are more closer.
yeah, yeah. Now for this whole thing, the holes and the intervals. In Turkey, for example, we have let's say 13 or some kind of sets of nays.
Nay, nays,
Play this
yes.
maqam, but not that maqam or whatever. As well as the pitch we would like to maybe have it for singing or whatever, the orchestra or the ensemble. Do we
Hmm.
have the same need in Duduk or
Yes, yes. Same on for Duduk.
same? So we need to change the Duduk. Let's
Yes.
say, for example, if you want to play Western music versus Eastern music, here you need a sort of siga rest versus maybe a minor and a major. Would you need to switch Duduks, for example, B flat or
For minor and major, no, because on each duduk you can play minor and major,
okay.
and pretty much all makams you can play on each duduk.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason we're changing the duduk
Mm.
because of the scaling.
Uh-huh.
For example, if it's written in okay, let's C minor, but it's written more deeper or more higher notes
Yes.
because it's only one octave.
Yes.
So we're changing the duduk
Mm.
to mainly to be able to play in this interval here,
Mm-hmm.
not higher than with what we go up higher here, or not lower than which we can't use our fingering.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. And they are both able to play Eastern and Western, right?
Yes.
And for that, you need a technique. Maybe you show us actually the positions, the two positions, and how do you maybe do an example of Eastern, uh, just the way we use the duduk first and the two positions in the
Yeah.
humming. Yeah.
So on duduk we use first position and second position
Okay.
because it's 8 hole on top
Mm.
and 2 hole bottom.
Mm-hmm.
This one, this one,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
one,
Yes.
and this one here. But this
Okay.
one, it's we don't use much.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we never use. Very, very, I don't know.
Very rare. Yeah.
So first position we close 6 holes, and the second position we close 8 holes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me. I want to change the duduk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Charga.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when do we use the back holes? Like example of why we use the back hole.
This one.
Yes, this and the one in the top.
Uh, yeah.
Both.
The back hole we use when for example, this is when I close these holes. It's
Mm-hmm.
on A duduk. On A duduk. Yeah, this is A duduk. It's F sharp.
Okay.
F sharp.
Mm.
So the back hole it's a mi. It's E.
Okay. Okay. It's an extension.
It, it's an extension. It depends how the notation written.
Mm.
If it's written like lower than this, what I have,
Yes.
so then I have to change the duduk to take G duduk or F duduk to be
Okay.
able to play that bottom note. Otherwise, that bottom note I can play on top here, which is these 2 holes closing. It's mi.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It will be up and down.
Okay. Like the upper me versus the bottom me.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the reason. So
Okay. And for closing the holes, Tigran, do you close them with which cushion, which
yeah,
region in the hand? Mm.
when we play in the first position, so my left hand, which is on top
Mm.
side of duduk, closing with the first cushions.
Mm-hmm.
My second hand always on the second cushions,
Okay.
because on first position even I can play this this note here.
Okay.
two holes left. Yeah, two notes. I can play this.
Yeah.
When we're moving to the second position, the bottom, the top hand
Mm.
must move forward to the second position, so the small finger
Okay.
will be
Covering.
able to close and play a
Mm.
melody. Then yeah, automatically comes like this.
Okay. And for the microtones, what is the technique to show a microtone? Maybe an example.
Yeah, the technique, the duduk, you can movement with fingers, because half tones and microtones to play on duduk, opening with finger the whole half hole, or I don't know,
Mm.
one quarter, I don't know,
Whatever tone
45
amount.
45%, 50%, 25. So then making these microtones and half tones.
Yes.
We can press a lips little bit on reed to do
Uh-huh.
that.
Okay.
This is, for example, let's if it's D,
Mm-hmm.
or Do, yeah, Do,
Yeah,
C.
yeah, yeah,
So you play in between. It's not clear Do. It's not a Do diez.
yeah. But
It's in between.
it gives the Eastern flavor.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. Now we talked about what's a duduk, the types of duduks. Uh, let's maybe show some technique or kind of ornaments just to give a flavor to the viewers.
So the ornaments and technique uh, being played on duduk,
Hmm.
finger, lips, and the throat, because on duduk the staccato we do with the throat,
Okay.
not with the tongue like on clarinet or flute.
Uh-huh.
The staccatos, the pointing the note, separating the note with the throat.
Yes.
So there is some ornaments which we play on duduk.
Hmm.
So these three uh, things I mentioned,
Hmm.
finger, lips, and throat, synchron working together.
Yeah.
So I'll play the example to you.
Mm.
These ornaments.
Mm. Hmm. Yes.
I can do slowly.
Hmm. Interesting. So we classify the techniques to three, as you have said. And how many ornaments are there for the duduk?
This one I showed, and
Mm.
this gliss
Yeah.
movement of finger, and also, for example, vibration.
Yeah. Hmm.
And also with the lips we can do kind of, or with finger. Same gliss we can do with lips.
Uh-huh. Mm. Interesting.
Also with fingers, like these ornaments.
Mm. long glissandos.
Longer glissandos.
Mm. Mhm. Mm. Mhm.
This is a piece from the last Passion of Christ.
Yeah. Yes. Mhm. Interesting. So I think there is no limit on ornamentation. The duduk will
No,
reflect
no limit. Yeah, and
would reflect
literally,
anything in the song culture or in the folk music or traditional, as well as the classical, right?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Except for the
So
range, and I think the range is not a big deal. This is the nature of the instrument.
yes,
Mm.
and all this ornamentation, all these feelings, this is what gives to the listener
Mm.
to feel kind of emotional or to
Mm.
I don't know, to love the music.
Yes, yes. And part of the technique, Tigran, is the circular breathing. This is a
Yes,
very important thing, right?
yes, very important. If you are a good master player, you must know how to do a circular breathing, because before I become a master or experienced duduk player,
Hmm.
I played with other masters a lot. I played the drone,
Mm.
we call dam,
Yeah.
because the duduk music, when you minimum two duduk players has to play. One playing the dam drone,
Mm.
doing circular breathing, holding the tonic note,
Hmm.
and the master playing the main melody.
Hmm. So how do we do the circular breathing? What's the idea?
For circular breathing, usually we choose a softer reed
Hmm.
to be easy to do.
Hmm.
But now I can show you on the normal reed, which is to play solo.
Hmm.
This is also another experience to
Yeah.
do on the little bit stronger,
Mm.
because to play a solo you need little bit stronger reed
Mm.
uh, to do the things that you want to do properly and to make a proper sound. Because the soft reed, when you play below powerful, it will make a buzzer sound.
Mm.
But it's softer reed, it's very good to play like a drone, not too loud,
Mm.
dumb underneath to accompany the master.
Okay. Mm.
And the circular breathing, the technique is like while you are blowing,
Mm.
same time you breathing in the air through the nose.
Okay.
You blowing out, same time you bringing air through to the nose.
Okay. So we
There
close
is
our
little bit,
mouth.
yeah, there is little bit dynamic change you will see, because this is not a special read for the
Uh-huh.
uh, drone. Well, no
Okay.
worries.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
the master, he can play a piece like for 15-20 minutes.
Mm. In
And
this technique.
yeah,
Interesting. Very interesting. Uh, what are the good quality Duduks in the market? You know, it's very popular and it shows everywhere. People are excited about it. You know, this gives a chance for people to sell Duduk, whatever it is.
yes, I'll explain to you. Yes,
Mm.
so the best wood
Mm.
for duduk,
Mm.
for the right sound, and it's apricot wood.
Mm.
But between the apricot wood, also there is good and bad quality. The wood
Yeah.
quality. For example, as I said, I born and I become from the Ararat region, Ararat Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So in apricot, which is growing up in Ararat region, not good for the duduk.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Ararat region, if you dig the soil like 10, 15 meters, water comes out.
Mm.
And the tree, which is take too much water, the wood, it's not that good quality.
Mm-hmm.
So the best apricot wood, the best quality for duduk,
Mm.
the tree, apricot tree, which is growing up in the mountain area.
Mm-hmm.
And the mountain area, the tree doesn't get much water, and the wood, it's more strong structure,
Mm.
and the sound also more proper.
Mm-hmm.
But the tree which is get more water, the wood, it becomes like a sponge,
Mm.
and the sound is not right. So, but anyway, the apricot wood, it's still too sensitive and too gentle wood. When From my experience, I travel to different countries with different climate to for the concert, and I discover that because of the climate change, changing the climate from in Armenia, it's very dry.
Yeah.
From for example, from Armenia, when I travel to Europe,
Mm.
which is more damp and wet compared with Armenia, and the apricot wood, it changed
Mm.
the tuning.
Yeah.
It's affecting on the tuning.
Mm.
Sometimes it can crack.
Mm.
So then, when I moved to London and start living here, I have an opportunity to meet the guy who importing the exotic wood and making the instrument parts. For example, guitar parts or violin parts, cello,
Yeah.
these kind of things. Then I asked him if I can give him a size of to be cut the wood for me. He will do it
Yeah.
for me. He said yes.
Mm.
So for Duduk, like four by 4 square centimeters, and 40, 45 or 50 centimeters long.
Mm.
Yeah, and I bought it from him, couple of different exotic woods: ebony, African blackwood, Makassar ebony, rosewood, mopani, bloodwood,
Mm.
and I sent it to Armenia and to give it to my master friends, and they make it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And because the structure for this exotic wood are more stronger and more, they have special measures, in wood industry.
Yeah.
I don't remember how they calling,
Mm.
but it's more
Reliable now.
stronger.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So traveling in Europe, playing these instruments,
Mm.
it's more stable.
Yeah. So with this exotic wood has helped, but this is for the body, right?
Yeah, for the body, for this. For example, see, this is bloodwood. This is more reddish, red. This is original red color.
Yeah.
This is bloodwood. This is rosewood.
Mm.
Rosewood. This is
Mm-hmm.
ebony
Yeah.
or African blackwood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is mopani.
Mm.
Also, there is wood cocobolo. I have also duduk made from cocobolo, but I don't have it here with me now.
Uh-huh.
And
And what about the reed? The reed is also more problematic than the body, right?
yeah, the reed is more problematic, and the reed also in wet
Mm.
climate, it's behaving very bad.
Mm.
When it's dry climate, it's good, but when it's damp and wet, it's expanding.
Mm.
So in this case, because when they making the reed, can you see this brownish
Yes.
side? They
Yes.
putting the sesame oil,
Mm.
and they roasting it, and they putting on top on fire. They firing a little bit
Mm.
to roast it.
Yeah.
So for wet climate countries,
Mm-hmm.
this roasting need to be done little bit more than normal.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
because when they're roasting, the reed can't keep much moisture inside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a challenge in all
Yes,
cases.
challenge. Yes.
Yes, and that's why you mentioned, the meeting the masters also gave the opportunity to know maybe better Duduk makers, maintenance, and the
Mhm.
way you manage it maybe during the performance where you need to regulate and
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
react
and
to.
during the performance, during the concerts, we always have a separate spare reeds next to us,
Mm,
always, or another duduk,
mm,
A or B, whatever we're using during the performance, ready with a reed like this. We're
mhm.
putting next to us.
Yeah.
If something happened with this, so we can pick up straight away that one, so continue playing.
Interesting. And
And
yeah.
I just want to mention also something the making of duduk, because in old days, 1930s or 40s, yeah, when the masters they making a duduk,
Mm,
uh, duduk to be in correct tune,
mm,
they was making holes bigger or small, or this interval was like close or far to make correct tuning of the duduk.
yes.
But during the years and now in our days, it's not like that.
Mm,
You can see all the holes are in similar intervals.
mhm,
So how they tuning a duduk?
mhm,
They scratching underneath,
mm,
from underneath each hole.
uh-huh.
Whatever hole it needs to be scratched
Mhm.
with a special tool,
Yeah.
scratching and taking out, the wood.
Yeah. Mhm.
So this way they tuning the duduk now more professionally and more stable. And the holes are, in equal distance from each other, so it's easy to play. Can you imagine one hole was here and one hole was there, and you have to play, and this is because of the tuning of the duduk, and one hole bigger, one hole smaller.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
So
it's
now
more
more developed
standardized.
and more accurate.
More standardized, and the sound of the duduk is very loud. It's like a violin. Yeah, right. It's very loud. Maybe the reed is maybe the biggest reed for such instruments. Is it?
The reed, and also the wood which is made the instrument also, yeah, and also depends on the player. For example, I'm when I'm playing, I'm a little bit blowing powerful to make a proper sound.
Exactly. Interesting. Now let's talk about the style of playing,
Uh-huh.
Master. What are the styles of playing out there, and what's your preferred style?
My preferred style, it's Wojciechowskian style,
Mm,
which, when from childhood I was listening to his recording, and also the other masters
mm,
recording and playing. But I don't know, I it's more closer to my heart and my soul, touched and left inside since that time. Wojciechowskian style.
mm,
I prefer his style and his way of doing this uh, technique of playing, doing the ornaments and things.
yeah,
Obviously, during the years, I mixing my style with his
mm, for
style.
sure. Can you
Um,
elaborate more on the style, the differences, so we know clearly? Yeah.
for example, I okay, Watcher Shipyan will play this song, which is called uh, Black and Dark Cloud. He played this like this. this is his style, which I like. It is more, as I said, heavy duty.
Hmm. Yeah.
Jivan Gasparian, he plays a little bit more delicate,
Mm.
little bit more like a gentleman
Yeah.
kind of style. For
Okay.
example, something like this.
Hmm. Interesting. So it's about ornaments and the choices of expression and of
Yes,
emotions.
about the ornaments, yeah, about the powerful blowing.
Mm.
Uh,
Interesting. Interesting. Let's maybe pause here with another selection of the music
yes.
and listen to it with our viewers. What would you suggest?
Another music. Ta-ta-tum. Yeah, I've sent it to you. The like my solo playing.
Okay, we'll listen to it. This
Yeah,
was recorded when?
this was recorded last year.
Mm. So
I've
it
done
was.
this recording just solo, like for to promote. If anybody you like to invite me for some kind of project or I don't know recording,
Mm.
just to have an idea, the sound I'm doing and the technique and the way I playing. It's
Mm.
just short videos. I've done it last year in a professional studio.
Interesting.
With I'm wearing in that video a traditional robe,
Uh huh.
and yeah, so yeah, you can play that for the people to
Will do.
watch.
Will do. Okay, Master, I think we have spent a great time discussing a lot of great stuff with
Thank
you.
you very much. I really enjoyed, and I'm very pleased and thank you that you interested about me, about my playing, about Armenian
Yeah,
music, and
very much
very,
indeed.
very
Very
much
much.
appreciated for your invitation.
Sure.
And
For sure,
I'm
we will meet again, but we still have fewer questions before we conclude.
yes,
Yeah.
please, welcome.
So, for example, what activities are you currently busy with?
At the moment,
Yeah, and your
at the
yeah.
moment, because of pandemic,
Mm.
now more I'm doing the online teaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have a couple of students from different countries, and yeah,
Mm.
I'm teaching them online Duduk. and every year I invited by Labyrinth
Mm.
music seminar workshop they doing.
Yeah.
Every year they was inviting me to Crete Island,
Mm.
Greece, in
Yeah.
small lovely village called Hudetsi.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rose Daly, that he create and he established this
Yeah.
idea, these seminars.
Hmm.
And but because of pandemic, everything, all this with this all these restrictions, so I've done a seminar this year online,
Hmm.
which he was the
I
one of
was
the
lucky to be there,
participants.
really.
Yeah, and I'm lucky also I met you.
Hmm.
And yeah, this is so far. And this year I just had one concert after all these restrictions
Mm.
in London. There was a small performance I performed
Mm.
with our trio, as I mentioned before, with Andrew Cronshaw and Ian Blake
Hmm.
in London. Open air was a
Hmm.
performance we played. So
Interesting.
far it's this is what's happening now.
Great. And your teaching is two types, right? The one-to-one
Yeah,
or
one to one, yeah, teaching. Yeah,
group.
one to one
Yeah.
teaching. Yeah, with the students. Also, I've been registered with Rhythmitica
Hmm.
Music Academy, which is based in Canada.
Hmm.
Through to Rhythmitica, also I'm doing online teaching one to one.
Hmm.
And yeah, and actually today I received a message request from Indian guy.
Mm.
He liked to do a recording. He was recording. He's doing a recording at the moment with a singer,
Mm.
which would like to use the duduk in the recording.
Mm.
Yeah, I received an offer, invitation, and I
That's
said,
great.
yeah, I'm interested. We can.
Hopefully,
Doing.
after this COVID thing, soon we go back to normal life and we continue.
Yes, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully.
And so, how can you be reached, Tigran, for those who are?
The best to be reached, I think, the Facebook
Mm.
direct message
Mm.
on Facebook. Also, I have an Instagram page,
Mm.
but on Instagram I don't do much.
Mm.
I don't do a lot of posting and stories and stuff. But on
Mm.
Instagram, anyone like to send me a message, I will receive and I will respond it.
And your YouTube channel, I guess.
Yeah, on also on my YouTube channel. Yeah.
Mm. Interesting. Tigran, very, very happy to have you on this
Thank you
episode.
very much, dear Fadil. Thank you very much.
And we will do it again for another extension of our discussion.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Hope
you,
everyone will enjoy watching this interview.
for sure. And see you soon then.
Thank you very much.
Bye for
Bye
now.
bye.